Kia ora as we head in towards the weekend. Heavy rainfall already making its way on towards the western coast. You can see on the satellite charts here that band of cloud and those lightning strikes, those red crosses feeding on towards the western side. The best of the weather this weekend up on the North Island, place like the Bear Plenty looking to be staying dry throughout, thanks to an area of high pressure. But we've still got a fair bit of active weather to come through as we head through the rest of today. You can see as rainfall continues to move northwards through Fiordland up in towards Westland. So there is a severe weather watch in place for Fiordland for the morning time and in towards Westland for the afternoon. But then this front lingers across those northern parts of the South Island. High pressure to the north and high pressure to the south keeps this front very slow moving through parts of Buller in towards the Tasman district. And it keeps a fair covering of cloud and unsettled weather through this central part of New Zealand. So things are going to be a little bit iffy, shall we say, through those middle parts of the country as we head through the rest of Friday and sadly through towards the weekend as well. Up on the North Island, high pressure rules the roost, and for many spots it should stay dry. More cloud on those western coasts, but you can see those winds picking up quite nicely through in towards Cook Strait as we head through the daytime on Friday. And I think we'll find overnight a rather blustery affair. This band of rain not moved an awful lot of distance through through Friday night in towards Saturday morning, while down south things are looking a lot drier through the night time. In terms of our temperatures, a very warm night, especially ahead of that front. Look at these minimum temperatures as we go through towards the early hours of Saturday morning. Down to as low as only about 15 degrees Celsius in Auckland, a very warm, very muggy night through there. But as we head through the daytime on Saturday, you'll see there's not an awful lot of change in how this weather pattern is set up. That front lingers, it oscillates a little bit further north, a little bit further south, but mainly drives that wet weather on towards that western coast. So for places like the Buller area, we're going to find rainfall stays with us as we head through Friday in towards Saturday. Some heavy, perhaps even thundery bursts on these fronts as they move up and down the western coast. We'll find those strengthening winds through the likes of, say, Wellington and the Wairarapa, gusts perhaps 90 kilometres an hour in those exposed areas through there. But for the North Island, there's plenty of dry, clear weather. Most of the activity, though, will be down on that western coast, and that's, unsurprisingly, where we've got our severe weather watches and warnings. Now, as like I was saying, that watch for Fiordland is for the morning time on Friday. As we head through towards the afternoon, the worst of the rain moves northwards. Similarly for the likes of, say, Westland, that rain easing off as we head through the evening time and overnight. But for Buller and up in towards the Tasman district, particularly those areas west of Takaka, that rain will stick with us as we head through the rest of Friday in towards Saturday and even through towards Sunday, with another pulse of fairly heavy rainfall coming through Saturday into Sunday. So that's when the warning really is for that pulse of more rain coming through on the second part of the day on Saturday. And like I say, embedded in amongst that, we've also got some thunderstorms to watch out for as well. So a pretty unsettled looking story around those northern parts of the South Island, and some of that rainfall spilling across towards the Taurua district, out towards Wellington and in towards the Wairarapa as well. So we have got a fair bit of activity across the top of the South Island, but for the top of the North Island, it looks pretty decent. There's more cloud around those western facing coasts, but generally that cloud will break up to leave behind some nice clear skies and some pretty decent temperatures as well as we head through the daytime. The Bear Plenty and down this eastern coast looking pretty good. A touch more cloud across those southern parts of Wairarapa as we head through the daytime, perhaps bringing a few scattered falls of rain there. But I think generally more of the activity for the North Island will be down in the south. We'll find those strengthening winds down towards Wellington, so rather a blustery day, rather cloudy and I think rather grey as well, with that cloud being pushed through, and some rain perhaps in towards the tops of the Taurua district as well. A bit of cloud and perhaps even a few spots of drizzle in through, say, Taranaki and New Plymouth as we head through the daytime. In terms of our temperatures though, look at these highs. Highs back to 24 degrees Celsius in Auckland, lows of 14. So a very warm day there, both by day and by night time as well. But the warmest temperatures out on this eastern coast, 29 degrees Celsius for Gisborne, 27 for Napier there. A very warm day indeed, with temperatures not much lower than 16 or so for your overnight lows. More cloud down south, but still a very warm day for Wellington, 19 degrees Celsius, feeling quite muggy with that cloud as well. As we head down towards as we head through the summer, we are going to keep a close eye on those fire conditions. You can see the blue colours here showing that moderate risk of fire danger. So do keep a close eye on the forecast, especially if you plan to do outdoor activities. And as always, check the conditions in your area at checkitsallright.nz before you light anything outside. As we head down towards the South Island, you can see we've got plenty of dry weather down towards the south. Places like Queenstown have a great looking day. However, this front lingers across those northern parts of the South Island. That high pressure right across the far northern parts of the country keeps this front draped across the likes of Buller and Nelson and Marlborough, keeping more cloud and wet weather through there as well. The heaviest rainfall in the ranges through Buller, and I think we are still going to find some more thunderstorms coming through there as we head through the daytime. Now, the heaviest rain is likely to be as we head through Saturday afternoon through towards Sunday afternoon. We could find as much as 120 to 150 millimetres of rainfall up through some of those areas there. So do keep a close eye on the warnings as we head through the next couple of days. Down towards the likes of, say, Canterbury, a cloudy start, perhaps a few spots of rain across those southern parts. They'll clear away, and the afternoon looks pretty decent, a fine-looking story there. Some of the best weather, though, down through places like central Otago, generally staying dry and fine through the daytime, and our temperatures once again reaching highs of 25 degrees Celsius. You can see it's a little bit cooler towards the coast, 18 degrees Celsius there for those southern parts of Canterbury down towards Timaru, but I think generally a pretty decent-looking story once we get away from that heavy rainfall and that cloudier sky across the likes of, say, Nelson, Marlborough, and especially that Buller coastline. As always, we are going to find, as we go through into towards summer, things that do get a little bit drier down around those eastern parts of the country. You can see we've even got some high risks for those fire danger areas through those central parts of Otago, up into towards the southern parts of Canterbury, the Mackenzie country. So do take extra care and extra precautions for your outdoor activities as we go through in towards this weekend, especially in those dry, clear areas, and especially where we've been seeing those temperatures rising over the last few days or so. As we head in towards Sunday, you can see we keep hold of more wet weather on that western coast. And again, still that risk of some more thunderstorms running through towards Buller. So you can see why we've got that warning through there. It's a very long length of warning we've got, but you can see this rain hasn't really let up at all as we've gone from Friday afternoon through Saturday and even through towards the first part of Sunday. Gradually, that front moves northward. So for Sunday, we'll find some wetter weather feeding in towards places like Taranaki, particularly New Plymouth and those northern facing coasts, and also, again, those southern parts of the North Island. But if you're heading up towards Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau, it's looking like a pretty decent story through most of the weekend. Cloud breaking up to give us some brightness and some sunshine. Similar story out towards the Bay of Plenty in that eastern coast, catching the best of the sunshine for the North Island. While down south, I think central Otago looks to be the place to be this weekend. That's it from me. There's more at metservice.com.